Off we go!
Nefer, this term's assignments have been issued already. Please read through the materials thoroughly, conduct your own additional research, and then write an essay on the topic.
Yes, Professor, I'm aware. I just had a couple more questions I wanted to get your perspective on.
Oh? Please ask away.
Well, I saw the other students' problem sheets, and I couldn't help but notice that my assignment is much easier than theirs. Do you really think I'm a weak student?
A weak student? Goodness, no. Quite the opposite. You have a sharp mind. Almost too sharp.
I think what you're saying is, a weak student wouldn't have noticed the discrepancy. And if they did, they certainly wouldn't complain about the lighter workload.
You see, sharp as they come. You see things the way they are, and I'm sure you know why they're like that.
Because of where I come from. Because I'm different.
I'm sorry, Nefer. I don't like it any more than you do. It's just... Anyway, you said you had a couple of questions. What's the other one?
I wanted to check. If someone sent me a letter to the academia, where do I go to collect it?
Ah, your family wrote to you. Well, as long as they put your name on the envelope, someone should hand it right to you.
Not exactly. It's not even a recent letter. I was just curious where the mail would end up if no one collects it.
The House of Dana, I expect. I know there's a box for unclaimed mail somewhere in there, probably sitting on a shelf. Whatever you're looking for, that'd be the place to start.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Professor.
Oh, don't mention it. Honestly, I feel like I failed you. I'm supposed to be your teacher, but I haven't taught you anything.
Hey, don't say that. You're a great teacher, and you do your best for all your students. But the rules are the rules. You're not allowed to teach students like me. It's not just the academia either. The whole world bends over backwards for the successful and leaves the losers to suffer and die.
Oh, my dear child. Don't tell me you've given up on life already.
I haven't. I just think that if you want to make it in this world, you have to find a way to become successful. This must be it. A big cardboard box full of unclaimed mail. And probably some letters that ended up here by mistake, too. Let's take a look. A dilapidation survey from Port Ormos. Looks like it's from a Core of 30 representative. This one was never even opened. I guess the recipient didn't care what the Core of 30... Who was it addressed to? I don't recognize the name, but it must have been a Ksharawar professor. This one is addressed to the... Guided by the incense, in clinical terms, these symptoms fit the description of incense poisoning. For example, my neighbor who always breaks out into song. This seems like something the academia would want to know about. Why wasn't it collected? Wait, what's this written on the back? The note says, "The sender authored this letter while under the influence of mushrooms. I would send it back, but no return address was provided." This next one is addressed to... A few words of protest regarding recent changes in recent years. However, it appears to me that, as well, education is the fundamental purpose. As Grand Sage, policy decision, I do hope you will give some serious attention. Great letter. Shame it didn't get to where it... And the sender is... Huh? Sage Cyrus of Spontamod. I didn't realize anyone else even knew how bad students like me have it in this place. So this is where letters from the Sage of Spontamod end up? Nice one, Grand Sage. Really enlightened leader. Whatever. This isn't what I'm not exactly holding out. I can't believe how much discarded mail there is. Must have been years since someone last went through it all. And this is just... I don't believe for 1 second that any human being has sat down... Wait, could this be it?
Greetings, Halil. My name is Sinue, chief of the Shimti tribe. I was the one who came to you and your colleague Zaid when you ran into trouble in the Great Red Sand. I don't know how well you remember it now, but I brought you to safety and gave you some water and other supplies. You seemed very pleased. In my tribe, learning a person's true name is serious business. The Shimti tribe lives a harsh, nomadic This brings me to my reason for writing. Our tribe has fallen on particularly hard time. There was a terrible sandstorm a few days ago, which blocked up the well in our land. To ensure my people's survival, I had no choice but to venture into Eob. The Eob and Unut are descended from the Thamudians. While we trace our ancestry to Tulatula, we worship the Lord of Flowers and have had relatively good relations with our fellow tribes. I found a well belonging to the Eob tribe. They declined to help us, but I really had no other option. So I took some water to keep me and my tribe alive. When we met, that aside, the last time you were here, you mentioned that the academia had started accepting students from the desert. And I told you a little about my daughter, Nefer. We have next to no resources here in the desert, and my power and influence are limited.
From the outset, the academia never took you seriously. Those things, and you were so emphatic that your luck had finally... You swore you'd lead us to a better place one day. You spoke with such conviction, like you were the most powerful chief in the whole desert. You liar. You lied about everything. You promised the world, and who fell for it? Just me, by the looks of it. Which makes you a pathetic liar. I think I'll take over from here. Let me show you how it's done. I just came to say goodbye. Thanks for everything you've done for me in my time here.
Nefer? You packed your bags. Where are you going?
I'm quitting. Something's come up in my hometown. Gonna head back and deal with it.
Huh? But this was a hard-won opportunity for you. You know that better than I do.
It was, but it doesn't matter. I have more important things to deal with, and they can't wait. Oh, and I didn't want to overfill my bags, so I left some incense on your desk. What's wrong? I thought you liked incense. Although, I did read somewhere in the House of Dana that it has hallucinogenic effects. Don't use it all at once, all right?
Isn't this the stuff you brought from your hometown? You're just letting me have it? But you said it's a rare and valuable commodity.
Yeah, about that. I lied. It's not rare at all. There's this bunch of ruins near my hometown that are practically overgrown with this plant. It's not worth much. Keep it, it's fine.
But Nefer...
All right, that's all from me. You take care.
Don't forget me, okay? I mean, we're more than just classmates, right? We're friends.
Yeah, I'll remember you. I lied again. That incense is worth a fortune, and it's a rare find even in those ruins. And as for remembering her, I have far too much to do when I get back. No time to reminisce. I'll be lucky if I even make it through this alive. But either way, I expect I'll forget you pretty quickly. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Arif.
So, what does the Academia want? Since they've sent their special ambassador, I assume there's a big business deal to be made. If not, I'd be very disappointed.
Please, sir, lower your blade. You're lucky I'm the one they sent. Not all special ambassadors share my admiration for the Iab people. The ever-shifting balance of power in the desert reduced the once great civilizations of this region to rubble and sand. But the story of the Iab has a very different trajectory. Others grew weak, but you grew strong, beginning in obscurity and moving to prosperity. You're the only ones who defied the trend.
Huh. So, you do know who you're dealing with?
This well is the perfect symbol of your strength, is it not? It used to belong to the Unut, but it looks like you have control over it now.
You're not wrong. But I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to flatter us.
Of course not. I came to bring you some very good news. Some information that recently came to light, which might just be your ticket to freedom. Records uncovered by the Vahumana Darshan show that a certain well currently under Iab control is built on top of some ancient ruins. These ruins are of great archaeological interest to the Academia. I checked the map carefully on my way over here, and I'm confident that this is the well in question. The Academia is offering 50 million mora in return for excavation rights.
50 million? No, wait. If these ruins are as important as you say, 50 million's a little low, don't you think?
Don't get greedy, Iab. We know far more than you think. We know that you seized this well by force. Wasn't that the first step in your rise to power? To drive away the Unut and steal their water supply?
So what if it was?
Don't worry. As unscrupulous as it was, it's something we're willing to overlook. The Academia is only interested in dealing with the de facto power holders in the region. I hope I am making myself clear.
And I hope your words are the truth. If I find out the Academia is trying to play me, I'll hunt down every one of your people and make you watch as I cut their heads off one by one.
I assure you, Chief, that would not be in your long-term interests. You don't want to make an enemy of the Academia. You see how I'm dressed, don't you? I appreciate that you've never been to the rainforest, but surely even you recognize an ambassador's attire when you see it. And what does a barbarian like you have to lose anyway? You really think the Sumeru Academia would bother to come all this way just to lie to you? We have more important things to worry about.
All right, I take your point. The Academia is the highest authority in the land. I'm sure you're trustworthy people. In that case, we have a deal. We will sell you the excavation rights. I'd like to thank you, Ambassador. This is good news indeed. Excellent news. In fact, it calls for a celebration. Would you do us the honor of staying a while and enjoying some Iab hospitality?
Gladly. I am partial to wine myself, and I trust you are as well. So let's indulge in a few drinks together, in celebration of this momentous occasion.
Chief! Chief, it's an emergency! It's the Unut. They've taken the well.
What? Well, don't just stand there. Take it back.
Yes, Chief.
I have every confidence in the Iab's military superiority, and yet...
Well, what is it?
The Unut's response was alarmingly fast. The day after we reach a deal, they seize the well. This can't be a coincidence. Perhaps there is a traitor in your midst.
I don't think so.
I am obliged to remind you, Chief, that the Academia will only deal with the de facto power holders. If you cannot regain control over the well, I'm afraid you won't see a single mora of that 50 million.
No! Please, Ambassador, just give me some time. I swear the Unut will not get away with this. That well is ours, and so is the mora.
Glad to hear it. I will wait here for an update.
If there is a traitor, I will find them. In the meantime, make yourself at home. I'll report back as soon as I have an update.
Much obliged. Wow. All it took was a few words and I've got him wrapped around my finger. What an amazing feeling.
So, in summary, Ambassador, the Academia would rather negotiate with our tribe instead of the EAB, yes?
The EAB are ruthless murderers who don't listen to reason. And now they have the gall to interfere in our research projects in the desert region. So let me ask you, Chief. If you were the Academia, what would you do?
Kill them all, of course.
Precisely. The Academia does not tolerate those who stand in our way. The EAB have held back our academic pursuits for too long, and our patience is wearing thin. At the same time, there is simply no way that the Academia can be seen to be intervening in desert affairs. I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from.
We have our own rules out here. If the rainforest dwellers raised arms against a desert tribe, it'd start a bloody war.
Right. We can't confront them ourselves, but we can support their enemies. The Unut have always had strained relations with the EAB, which makes you our natural allies. Natural allies. Weren't the EAB your allies once? You were quick to send them after us to protect your interests back when we stole that water. And now look at you. You're at each other's throats. Let me be clear. The Academia wishes to collaborate with the legally recognized rulers of the desert in this matter. We are asking for excavation rights to that well, and our offer is 50 million mora.
Say no more. I believe we have an understanding.
Good. Then I suggest you get to work. Get us access to that well, and the mora's yours. You see, Dad? Lying is easy when you know how. People will believe anything. Look at yourselves. You may be vile, savage monsters, but your butchered bodies bleed like any others. You're no different. You're nothing special at all. The monsters who destroyed my home, they're just ordinary, petty human beings. What a joke. I think we're even now. Maybe I've even done the desert a favor. It's a better place without all these people around. Oh, Sinuhe, my gullible fool of a father. Perhaps if you'd been as ruthless as I was today, our tribespeople would still be alive. In this dog-eat-dog world, a chief needs to be tough to survive. But you couldn't do what had to be done. So I did it for you.
Nefer, it's okay. All of this is in the past now.
I believe I remember you promising to remain silent.
Yeah, but even so.
Yehoda, is there anything you can do to ease the tension?
Alright, time for a sharp turn onto a completely different topic. So, anyway, that's enough of that. When are we getting out of this place? Feels like we've been walking forever. I'm getting pretty tired. Oh, Lauma, You tired?
Yes. If we can find somewhere to sit down, I could certainly do with a rest.
It's not far now. There should be a temple just up ahead. Yes.
Really? A temple? That's where this story ends? I guess that's how things go in the desert.
Desert dwellers can never escape their destiny. Or so everyone says. I never wanted to believe it, but looking back now, I'm as desert as they come.
You mentioned a temple. What's waiting for us there?
My biggest trade secret of all.
Ah. Then I'm guessing it's where you got your power from. The power to peer into other people's minds.
I didn't know you were clued up on any other religions.
I'm no expert in the history of Sumeru, but since you come from the desert, I would imagine it has something to do with King Deshret.
Sounds impressive.
Ah, I know who you mean. General Mahamatra Sino. The spirit of Hermanubis dwells within him.
That's Boss Neff for ya. She knows everything.
Sino's hardly a figure of obscurity, but I know about Sethos too.
What about him? Is he a big deal or something?
Well, he's not a small deal, let's put it that way. Please, this is the bare-bone basics. Save the flattery. Thanks for your patience, everyone. I'm sure it's been a lot to take in. With any luck, that's our exit just up ahead.
Uh-oh. 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 I'm totally out of my depth here. I don't have anything to add about any of this stuff. Like, look at that statue, for instance. I want to do the whole name-dropping, this girl knows her stuff thing too, but I've never seen anything like it before.
A statue with the head of a bird.
That's Thoth, the Ibis King, one of the 7 pillars of King Deshret. The legends say that he, the Crocodile King, and the Goat King were the 3 retainers of King Deshret. Let's take a look.
It's just Ashru.
So, all is well?
Typically speaking, at this point, the world disintegrates. Then we find ourselves back in the outside world. Besides, these are my memories. There's nothing to fear.
You're sure?
Of course, it's almost over.
Hold on!
Knowing too much is always a death sentence.
Speak for yourself.
How repulsive.
Timed that pretty well, didn't I? It's okay. I'm just glad no one was hurt.
Paimon noticed you doing something too, Dainsleif. Were you helping get them out?
Of course. When I asked Nefer to conduct this investigation, I was not naive to the dangers involved. I had a duty to ensure your safety.
Good to know your sense of justice is still intact after all these years.
I take that to mean that you saw the truth. That comes as a great relief.
I certainly did. And thanks to your help, I also managed to trap Rerir inside the chess set.
Whoa, really? How'd you manage that?
Well, to be honest, I sensed that something was wrong long before we made it to the temple. By using this fragment to probe into Rerir's past, well, the monster formerly known as Rerir, it seems I alerted him. I was tracking him, then he caught on and started tracking me too. Can't say I'm surprised.
But how did he track you through your thoughts alone? That shouldn't be possible.
Rerir was a secret agent who reported directly to the Vinster King. He is an expert at finding a trail and hunting down his pursuers.
No wonder.
He infiltrated the chess set, read my thoughts, and built a new virtual chess set inside of it. That's why we weren't able to leave at first.
Speaking of your chess set, it's quite a remarkable item. Would I be right in thinking you have some connection to King Deshret?
You overestimate me. I only have a connection with one of his underlings, the Ibis King. You all saw how this came to be. A long time ago, the Eab massacred my tribe, the Shimti, in our home village. A few years later, I enrolled in the academia, where some new information came to light. The Unut and the Eab fought a bitter battle over the rights to a well, all for the sake of a non-existent 50 million Mora. The Eab ultimately won that confrontation, but their victory came at the cost of almost every warrior in the tribe. The final blow to the Eab came at the victory feast, when an Unut assassin beheaded their chief right before my eyes. The remaining Eab fled and have been scattered to the winds ever since. Having gotten my revenge, I returned to my hometown, where to my surprise, the nearby temple was still standing. There it was, seemingly immune to the relentless hostility of the desert, while my tribal home lay in ruins. As I stood there gazing at the temple, I noticed a cat just outside. This cat, as it turned out, was home to the spirit of the Ibis King. He led me to a gate deep inside the temple, and there he made a deal with me. This chess set is my gift from the Ibis King. The chessboard within is made to the same specifications as the one in the mausoleum of King Deshret, and represents his power of piercing analysis. With this chessboard in its container, I gained a certain ability to perceive hidden secrets. Now, you could conclude that the Ibis King simply wanted to give the people of this world the power to seek the truth, but I don't believe that's the full story. Every god plays favorites. Their hearts are as fickle as any human's, full of secrets, perversions, egotistical tendencies. But precious few gods are willing to admit this.
It is the same with all powerful forces, including fate itself. Their gaze falls preferentially upon a select few. As you rightly point out, this is an act of favoritism.
If you're alluding to the Abyss, then yes, I agree. Gather the others. It's time to share everything I've learned. Thank you all for being here. As promised, I did some further investigating into the Raker of Solnari's background. I am pleased to report that the investigation has been most fruitful indeed. The Raker of Solnari, real name Rerir, was once a Conrian subject who served the Vinster King. I will now share the important details of his story. Please save any questions or comments for the end.
So that's why he's so obsessed with the moon.
A tragic tale, to be sure. But it does not excuse his many transgressions. No matter how much Rerir suffered in the past, the fact remains that he is what we know today as the Wild Hunt, wreaking havoc upon innocent lives in Nodcry. He becomes more dangerous with each passing day. If left unchecked, it is simply a matter of time before all of Tevat suffers the consequences. This is a threat that the Knights of Favonius cannot ignore.
A question for Miss Columbina. Forgive me if this is presumptuous, but have you ever seen the spatial gateway that appeared in Rerir's memory?
Never. But I have heard stories of something called the Moon Gate, and this seems to fit the description.
Miss Lauma, any thoughts on this?
In the lore of the Frost Moon Scions, the moon is believed to hold many secrets. Some sources speak of ancient knowledge, others of a gateway to the unknown. The term Moon Gate is one I have heard before. But as is the case with all of our legends, there are no records of any first-hand witnesses. We cannot know whether it truly exists.
Then back to Miss Columbina. As a moon goddess yourself, do you have some idea of where the Moon Gate leads to?
Not at this stage, sorry. I do hold the power of the Frost Moon, and my strength is recovering well. I can sense that the gate would open at my command, but...
But there's more to the power of the Frost Moon than that?
Yes. A moon goddess has the right to open the Moon Gate, since it is a path to the moon. But as Nefer mentioned, Holding open a spatial gateway takes a huge amount of power. And right now, I need to conserve my energy to fight the Rahier of Solnari. I'm afraid this is one mystery we may have to leave unsolved for now.
I agree. Better to save your strength. But if you'll humor me for a moment, I have a bold conjecture of my own regarding the world beyond the gateway. I highly suspect that neither Tholindis nor Rarir made it through unscathed. The evidence pointing to this is the fact that the Rahier of Solnari exists in the form of countless fragments. With the abyssal power he wields, no ordinary foe can touch him, let alone tear him to shreds. And yet, the Wild Hunt proliferates wherever his scattered fragments lie, drawing hordes of monsters to many different locations across the land.
So your theory is that Rarir was physically torn to shreds by some powerful force? Hence, why the Wild Hunt is a distributed phenomenon, rather than a unified one?
Makes sense to me. Explains why the Wild Hunt is so pervasive, and why he's been trying to piece himself back together. He was whole to begin with, and he wants to be whole again.
Without the power of the Abyss on his side, he almost certainly would have perished the moment he was torn apart. But the Abyss, much like a curse, has kept him alive.
I could not agree more. The power of the Abyss is most surely a curse.
It is a compelling explanation, and one that accords with my present understanding of Abyss creatures. Whether the life form in question is primitive or advanced, if a curse has extended its lifespan unnaturally, it will continue to survive in spite of everything. This raises some interesting questions. I will run some experiments and see if there is any validity to my suspicions. That being said, regardless of whether my research bears fruit, I would like to thank Miss Nefer for conducting such a thorough investigation. Already, it has greatly enriched my understanding of the entity we face.
My pleasure, Mr. Albedo. I too hope that the information I have shared today proves useful as we look to formulate the next stage of our plan.
Hey! What is it, Dainsleif? You look really upset!
It's just... when I think of the man I once knew as Rarir, I struggle to understand why things had to turn out like this.
The two of you used to be friends, didn't you? I don't know if these words will bring any comfort, but my heart goes out to you.
Mine too. We can never know all the hows and whys of the way things are. The moon and stars are full of untold secrets and lies, and the skies are host to many more mysteries than these alone. Yet, none of that can begin to compare with the complexity of human life.
Those are the first comforting words I've heard in a long time. Thank you, both.
Well, I think this is a good place to end today's meeting. I'm sure Nefer needs some time to recover. She's been through an awful lot today.
That's very thoughtful of you, Lama.
Of course.
Sounds good to me. Take some time to rest and digest before we reconvene to nail down a plan. Hey, is this a bad time? Hope I didn't kill the conversation. No need. Come on, let's talk outside. Anyway, Nefer went back to the curatorium to get some rest. But before she left, she shared some things with me that I thought you should be aware of. Firstly, although she managed to trap the Raker of Solnari inside her chest set, there's no guarantee that the power of the Ibis King is any match for one of the 5 sinners. Their powers are beyond our comprehension. It's only a matter of time before he finds a way to break out. We have to come up with a plan and take care of him before that happens.
Honestly, Paimon figured that might be the case. So, how long have we got?
Well, I asked her that same question. She talked for a long time, but for the most part, it seemed like she was trying to convince me how precious her chess set is. What a long and storied history it has. It felt like some kind of sales pitch, you know? The kind where you end up handing over Mora against your will? Anyway, after all that, she finally answered the question. 2 days, at most.
2 days? Holy moly! Can we even recruit enough help in that time?
That remains to be seen. Which brings me to the second issue. Dainsleif is obviously conflicted about this whole thing. But given how little time we have, there's no way we can pull this off without his help. You have some history with him, right? Do you think maybe you could talk to him for us? Great. I appreciate it. All right, on to item 3. So, Albedo, Durin, and I put our heads together and came up with a plan. We figured we'd bounce the idea off you first. We'll explore it further once everyone's recovered.
Oh, Paimon's dying to hear this.
All right, so here's what we're thinking. We felt a little uneasy about roping you into this. I mean, firstly, you're not locals, and secondly, none of us are your boss. You're well within your rights to refuse if you so choose.
Roping us in? Why would you even say that? We know the stakes here. It's all of us against the Rayher of Solnari, or none of us stand a chance.
I choose my words very intentionally, I'll have you know. I like to think there's an art to striking a down-to-earth tone even when the stakes are through the roof.
Sir Varka, I have a few thoughts about this plan.
I'm all ears.
I think we can be more flexible with how the roles are allocated. In my view, the most sensible lineup would be like this.
I see your point, yeah. But if that's how we're going to approach this, you'd better make sure you're ready. To be clear, I don't doubt your abilities. Far from it. I just want to make sure. Are you really willing to take all this on?
I want to do everything within my power. The Rayher of Solnari is a truly fearsome opponent, and if I do my part, it'll greatly reduce the risk for everyone else involved.
Well, that tracks with what I've heard. Jean's mentioned in her letters that you're so diligent it's almost abnormal. As in, most people weigh up the risks and rewards in situations like this. But you seem to just march towards danger without a moment's hesitation. Of course, everyone appreciates a fearless pioneer. But all that aside, I'm the Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, and you're our honorary knight. I want to make sure your courage doesn't come at the expense of your safety.
Thank you, Sir Varka.
I should be the one thanking you. It means a lot to have you on board. I'll give some serious thought to your suggestions.
This is a thorough plan, but I do have one last question before we take action. How can we be sure that our enemy won't leave the designated area?
Great question. Albedo's been hard at work analyzing Rayher and the Wild Hunt's behavioral patterns. His conclusions are as follows. Firstly, from the earliest known confrontation until now, Rayher has never displayed any ability to manipulate the dimension of space. So it's unlikely he has any power in that domain. Secondly, he seems to have a particularly strong vendetta against our group. If we put him in a fight-or-flight situation, he'll choose to fight every time. Thirdly, finally, and most importantly, he is consumed by hatred, both for the moon and for his enemies. Turns out, we tick both of those boxes. We have a reincarnated moon in our ranks, and a spy who accessed his private memories without permission. He'll be baying for blood, not looking to escape.
As someone who's had their fair share of interactions with the Wild Hunt, those all seem like valid observations to me.
Understood. Then I will defer to the verdict of the group.
Well, everyone, that's the plan in full detail. Albedo and Durin are carrying out their part as we speak.
Plan approved. Scheduling.
Okay, any firepower you need, I got you covered. Let's light this baby up.
The Frost Moon Scions are behind you as well.
And the rest of you? No objections? All right, then it's settled. This is the plan we're going with. Next up, an old tradition of mine. Anyone who wants to back out, now's your chance.
Wait, we can still back out of this?
Everyone says things they regret, right? I don't want anyone feeling trapped because their mouth said yes before their brain had time to think things through.
A very people-first approach. I hear that's common practice in the Knights of Favonius.
Heh. Who'd you hear it from? D-Luke?
Shh. We don't use people's real names at work. This contact will be known only as Owl, please and thank you.
This plan can only work if everyone does their part. Flint's and I will absolutely support it.
We shall indeed. You'll be glad you accepted our help. Also, you are the last person I expected to see here, Miss Dory.
It's not often I get called Dory in a work context. My peers usually call me Lord Sangamabe. So, the longer your name, the higher your net worth. Is that the idea here? In that case, Mr. Flint's here must be worth a fortune. That's right, I know your full name. It's...
The walls are thin here. I'd appreciate you keeping that a secret.
Okay, fine. I'm actually only here as a favor for someone else. Do you have any idea how much it would cost to hire me otherwise? Oh, does this mean someone out there actually has the power to boss Dory around? It most certainly does not. We have a long-standing and mutually beneficial business partnership. She's actually the mom of a friend of yours. Said mom supplied me with a great little trinket, but now that lady's ruined everything. If I don't start building a little goodwill now, my whole business in Notcry is gonna go down the drain!
Okay. So what exactly is so special about this pendant?
It's a lucky charm that a great mage made for me. We have a business relationship, and she was worried that something bad might happen to me. So, she wanted me to have something that can store power to protect myself with. I finally got it all fully charged up with Kuvaki, and then never went and used it all up at once! Never lost so big in my life!
You're right. It was all my fault. I didn't mean to drain all the Kuvaki in the pendant, but I'll make it up to you.
You will? Well, in that case, how about you give me your chess set, and we call it even?
I knew you'd say that. Well, it's yours if you want it. In fact, take it now, and I'll even throw in a free Raker of Solnari. Deal?
You're putting me in a difficult position here.
It's a very useful thing to have around, but I have a funny feeling it won't be around much longer. I guess we'll see in a couple of days.
Looks like bankruptcy for me.
Hey, don't be so pessimistic. See this through and you never know. You might find a new business opportunity on the other side.
are things going? Feeling ready?
Oh, I was born ready. We only have 2 days. You think Lord Sangamabe would let an opportunity like this slip by? Don't forget, when something's in high demand, the people with the goods on hand get to charge the highest price of all, even higher than the sellers taking advance orders. Ta-da! See? It's right here.
Ah, it's so pretty. Did you make it?
No, I have a supplier. We go way back, so he made me a very attractive offer.
Aha! No wonder you were talking about Lucky Charms at the meeting. You've been getting Kaveh to make them for you.
That's not the full story. It actually started a while back as a project between me and the Dendro Archon. Mage Alice once warned me that this world won't stay safe forever. There may come a day when everyone faces a great crisis. I passed this on to the Dendro Archon, and she secretly brought together a research team made up of Sumeru's top scholars to invent a technology that could keep people safe. I won't go into the details because it's all very complicated, but if you want to know more, you can ask the Dendro Archon about it sometime. Anyway, point being, it was the Dendro Archon who asked Kaveh to build this little contraption. As one of the top Kashara War talents, he was the obvious choice. Took him long enough. He stressed over it for ages. Must have gone through at least a dozen designs before producing a final product. But that's Kaveh for you. Marak delivered it to me a couple of days ago, along with a letter from Kaveh. Could I ask why I'm sending this technology to you? And what's your proposed use case? Has it been approved by the relevant authorities? So nosy. My fault for sending him the research permit to begin with.
Surely Nahida must have told him you were involved in this project. He was probably just nervous because you're always so secretive about your business.
Could be. Anyway, I just replied, let's hope there never has to be a use case, because it would involve grave danger.
Fair enough. But it sounds like he was just being cautious. He probably felt responsible as the one who made it.
Or maybe he was asking as a favor for his housemate. He's done that before. Not sure why, though. His housemate doesn't seem to really care that much about this kind of stuff. Either way, all's well that ends well. I'm just glad to finally have my hands on the product. I wouldn't want to be without it, given the potential dangers that lie ahead. Huh? What does that look mean?
Paimon's just super surprised. This must be the first time we've ever seen you at...
Well, a long time ago, I made a promise to myself. I promised that I was gonna live every day of my life with a big beaming smile. Obviously, Mora plays a big part in that. But there are always gonna be times in life when you have to give something back. That could mean paying back a debt, returning a favor, or showing some kindness. Alice has been a huge help to me over the years. She was the first investor I ever had. And I want my investors to know that Lord Sangamabe is the best in the business. And more than that, no one knows what the future will bring. Whatever happens, I want to make sure the Dendro Archon and all of Sumeru is prepared to face whatever comes. Oh, that? I was just making sure Nefer and I are square. Don't be thinking it was some sort of benevolent act. I'm no saint, so don't treat me like something I'm not. My priority is doing the business that I want to do, so long as my conscience lets me, but it usually does. That's the Lord Sangamabe business model.
All right, if you say so.
I do say so, and that's the whole point. I'm a businesswoman. Don't go trying to figure out what kind of person I am. You'll exhaust yourself. Much easier. Oh, and could you two help me get this stuff where it needs to be? Thanks so much. You're my favorite assistants.
Traveler, Paimon. It's good to see you.
Everything going smoothly over here?
Sort of. As you're probably aware, Varka, Durin, and I captured some abyssal creatures from the Wild Hunt. Per the plan, we dissected and analyzed some samples of these creatures. The process went very smoothly. The findings, however, come with some troubling implications.
What? You can actually dissect the Wild Hunt?
That depends on your definition of Wild Hunt and dissection.
Harmless, lifeless. These words are accurate descriptions.
The Wild Hunt is an interesting phenomenon. In and of itself, it doesn't seem to possess anything akin to a human personality. But taken as a collective, the medium through which the Wild Hunt is summoned does appear to have a soul. Master griped a lot about the wise Horoptotire, and seemed somewhat fascinated with the foul Certology. But she barely mentioned Rerir at all. I don't think that was because of his lower social standing, though. Anyway, it's a pity. I should like to hear her thoughts on the... It's a strange mix. The furious energy of an abyssal being channeled through a fractured physical existence. A consequence of being torn apart by an unknown power. Perhaps the only explanation for his survival in this state is that he sacrificed a degree of individuality in exchange for a continued existence. Oh, sorry. Once I get talking about interesting research, I have a tendency to go on indefinitely. Back to our research findings. Essentially, they confirm my hypothesis. Rerir's corpse is completely contaminated by the Abyss, and the effects are irreversible. You could think of this as Rerir in mutated form. But in my view, even that would be inaccurate. In reality, his whole being has been consumed by the Abyss. In other words, he is now nothing more than a manifestation of abyssal power. Unfortunately, at present, we have no means of completely eradicating abyssal power. Hence, we cannot fundamentally destroy the Reihir of Solnari either.
Oh, that's terrible news! So, that's it? We can't defeat him? Not even if we get the power of the Three Moons?
Miss Columbina's situation is a difficult one. She can never achieve wholeness when the world does not accept her presence. It's as if her creator banished her to a place she can never be accepted. It means she spends most of her energy just on her own survival.
Given the circumstances, it's only natural to despair. But we must see this plan through to the end. Time to kick off the backup plan.
Oh, Paimon almost forgot! This is for you. Dory asked us to bring it.
Ah, how wonderful. Well, thank you for making the trip. Durin and I will be heading off shortly.
I'm sorry I won't be there to protect you in person this time. Please be careful.
All right then. Stay safe.
Miss Lauma, is everyone here?
Yes. The fate of my flock is in your hands, Grandmaster Varka. Please keep them safe.
My lady, what are you saying?
Within the next 24 hours, we will face the biggest crisis the world has ever seen. This is not a burden that we deserve to bear, but I believe that we reap what we sow in this life. So I intend to act. I must do what I think is right. For me, that means fighting for the future of Nodcry. This gentleman is the Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, Varka, Knight of Boreas. In my absence, please follow his lead.
Hey, everyone. Guess I should introduce myself. Well, to start with, I know my way around a battlefield. Biggest strengths are honesty and hard-workingness. Anyway, point is, I don't intend to let Lauma down. I'm gonna do everything in my power to keep every last one of you safe and sound.
Adventure time!
Something on your mind?
Miss Columbina, was it? I believe that's how the others addressed you.
That's right. Names are funny things. Have you always been called Dainsleif?
Yes. I take it your own name has a more complicated history.
I have a different relationship with names than other people. To be honest, I'm not even sure that Columbina is my name. At least, not in the same way that Dainsleif is yours. But it's what everyone calls me, and I go along with it. A lot of my life has been that way. I get so used to things that I forget to question why they are so. I never used to think much about where names come from, or what they mean to people. Maybe something's wrong with me.
You're different from other people. I sensed it the first time we met.
You're more perceptive than most. I'm sure your long life and rich range of experience explains that. Do you ever find yourself missing Conria, Mr. Dainsleif?
Difficult to answer. I have dreamed of the past many, many times. Sometimes I'm fighting tooth and nail. Other times I'm lying on the ground, defeated. I don't recall any happy moments from that time. It has been too long.
Is that because hatred survives longer than love and affection?
That would not be for me to say. I make no excuses for the grudges I bear. But whatever the reason, I remember little that was beautiful or sentimental. Thank you for your help with the Rerir situation. Without your efforts, I never could have learned the hidden truth of his story.
You're welcome. I know he's your friend.
Friend? He betrayed me. And I never really understood what he was going through in life. Some friendship, that is.
Okay. So, do you plan to fight him with us? You see, you're torn. Now you know what really happened. You see the things he's done in a new light.
I need some time.
Of course. I completely understand. Anyone else in your position would feel conflicted too. Actually, I went through something similar myself recently. Something happened that changed my perspective on a situation. A situation I took for granted at the time, but now I feel very grateful for it.
You mean the Harbingers who still support you, even though you've left the Fatui?
Yes. I always thought they were only helping me because Harbingers are forced to work together. But then I abandoned them. A warrant was even put out for my arrest. And even now, they still support me. Which means I was wrong about them all along.
Clearly, they view you as a friend.
I feel a little guilty now. I regret not seeing her help for what it was, and not treasuring it. I see the guilt that you're feeling now, because I feel it too. Hopefully, talking about it will do us both some good. Have you noticed that the Traveler and Paimon are over there? I think they've been listening.
Huh. Shall we say hello?
Sure. Hello.
Ah! They caught us!
I apologize for making you worry. No doubt you wish to know where I stand on the plan to take down the Recher of Solnari. I'm afraid I need a little time, but I will seriously consider joining you.
You will? Oh, thank you so much! Everyone will be so grateful to hear that!
They needn't be. This was something that I was going to have to face up to eventually.
That doesn't matter to them. They're grateful to you regardless. You can't control their gratitude, so just accept it. And then, have a think about whether you're willing to join us.
It's nearly showtime! Let's go rendezvous with the others. You know the place.
Ah, you're earlier than I expected.
Hey, Flint's! Been waiting here long?
Not too long. I came a little early so I'd have some time to think.
Are you nervous about the battle?
Quite the opposite. I'm reminiscing on my past battles. When I was awakened by the Ratniki, I had not touched a weapon in many years. I felt like the battlefield was not where I belonged. But after waging war against the Wild Hunt for so long, I came to realize something. A life of absolute peace is simply not a possibility for me. My restless flame indicates that somewhere inside of me, there is a deep yearning to root out the evil in this world.
Oh, that doesn't sound like such a bad thing.
Well, in the past, when I was a Fae whose primary concern was hibernation, it was hardly ideal. But it certainly serves me well here in the present. And I am delighted to be able to join forces with you in this endeavor.
Looks like I'm not the first to arrive.
Ah, Miss Lauma.
Did you sleep okay last night?
I struggled to settle down at first, because of the nerves. But don't worry. I got enough sleep in the end. I'll be just fine. Please, I'm just doing my part.
Never! Over here!
Aino asked me to relay a message. She said Anefa will be on high alert and keep a close watch over all secondary districts where defense is required, providing support as necessary. Meanwhile, Aino herself will provide range support to us directly, using her latest invention.
Excellent. My thanks to all involved.
The chess set's looking a little unstable.
It won't hold him much longer. We should be prepared to engage at a moment's notice.
No sense sitting around waiting. Let's make the first move while we still have the option.
I agree. Paimon, find a safe hiding place.
Got it! Be careful, Traveler!
I will.
Everyone, take your positions as soon as the battle starts. Every ounce of strength we have in our bones, let us bring to this fight.
Ready?
Let's go.
I've seen all your futile ploys before. You have become the authors of your own demise.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
You are merely a moment of sport before I tear down the moon.
Stay on your toes.
Yep, you too.
Let me help you guys. Eat this!
Moonlight betrays you. Be silent. Move.
Forest, protect us.
How unfortunate. It all adds up.
The moonlight betrays you. Hunt them down!
Close your eyes.
Be silent.
Steady now.
Move! The moonlight betrays
No more
you.
lies. It all adds up. Seek within.
Hunt them down! Move!
Observe.
The moonlight silent betrays you. Hunt them
By the
down!
frost moon of old, you poor lost land.
Close your eyes.
Be silent. To dust.
Are you quite finished?
Leave this place.
Can't hide the truth.
The moonlight betrays you. It began with the moon, and so shall it end.
The moon will protect you. You poor lost land.
Keep your distance. I'm rather out of sorts. Observe. Close your eyes.
Forest, protect us.
No more lies. It all adds up. No. How do you see?
Observe.
From here, when will it be as you foretold?
A grave transgression. You poor lost lamb.
Our spirit is not welcome here. Observe.
For the everlasting forest.
The mystery unravels. Can't hide the truth. Shameless.
Be silent.
Close your eyes.
Night falls. Be silent.
No more lies.
Futile. night falls.
It all ends. Absurd.
Forest, protect us. By the frost moon of old. Stay your hand.
Observe.
Pathetic!
Are you quite finished? Move! The moonlight betrays you.
Can't hide the truth. It all adds up. The deception ends here.
Close your eyes.
Pathetic!
Leave this place.
No more lies.
With one heart, we pray.
Go! Futile! Observe. Your little game of heroics is over. Who wants to go first? Move!
No! We've been separated!
My grasp!
You okay?
Never! Where are the others?
Stuck outside the barrier. I guess he really doesn't like us.
I told you before, knowing too much is always a death sentence.
Be careful what you wish for.
Mama! Can you hear me?
Hold on, silence.
Their voices are gone. But at least I know they're still there. I need to focus. Stick to the plan. Remember my most important task. Just keep stalling. If I can stall him for long enough, the moment will come. Bombs away!
No more lies. Can't hide the truth.
Wipe out!
Seek within. It all adds up. No more lies. Absurd. The mystery unravels.
Bombs away!
It all adds up.
I've got this! Go! Shield's broken. Can't keep this up.
Don't push your luck. No more lies.
Water jet!
It all adds up. Seek within.
hide the truth.
Water jet! Bombs away!
The deception ends here.
Wipe out!
The mystery unravels.
Water jet!
No more lies.
Go!
Can't hide the truth. The deception ends here.
Bombs away!
No more lies.
Curses. There's no other way.
The only way to defeat Rarer is to borrow his own power. That means Columbina will have to disappear while you two bear the brunt of his attacks. You have to hold on. Find a way to keep him focused on killing the two of you.
Nefer, your eyes are bleeding.
Soon you will be powerless to resist. And then, I will reduce you to dust.
But that dust will plague your memories. Come on, keep holding on.
Any other tricks up your sleeve? Let's see them. As entertaining as they are. You've backed yourself into a corner.
You don't fool me. I see your fear clear as day. I have to stoke his rage. Make him unleash everything. You fear what you could never defeat. You fear the thought of never being able to save your beloved. You cannot win the fight against fate, Rarir.
Is that what you think? Well, now it's your turn to feel afraid!
You fear the sound of your own name?
Is it us you hate? Or is it what you've become?
Let's see what becomes of you! What's happening? That power. I've seen it before.
His power is on another level. We'll need to use an alchemical array to convert his power into a usable form. Then quickly channel it into Columbina, rendering her powerful enough to compete with him.
I'll join you. I can help. If I release enough abyssal energy into a confined space, it'll create a potential difference, allowing us to extract a huge amount of elemental energy. Next, I'll synchronize with everyone's minds using Pyro, then give you temporary access to their abilities and fields of view. But it won't last long. Can you see?
Well enough.
So, we have a student of Gold Rhine-Daughter in our midst.
How about that?
You use my own power against me?
Just like how you stole Kuvaki. Look familiar?
Don't you realize? You don't have the power to hold that gate open!
I don't, but someone else does.
Goodbye, Rerir.
We won.
Nefer, how are your eyes?
They're fine. Apart from the blindness, of course.
It's not too late.
Let me handle it. Miss Nefer, it's not like you to lose your composure. That was the most reckless thing I've ever seen you do.
Reckless how? The situation was critical. Our lives were at stake. We had to do something.
Even so. Okay. I guess you're right. Under the circumstances, it was a wise decision. You traded your eyes for an incredible victory. In business terms, I suppose that's a huge return on investment.
I'd be hard-pressed to argue otherwise.
Still, I don't like this outcome, and I don't want you to lose your sight for good. People suffer when they make sacrifices they shouldn't have to make, whether that means faith, strength, or in this case, your ability to even see. I had hoped you could win without sacrificing so much as a single hair on your head.
Thank you. Really.
All done. Don't try and open your eyes just yet. We'll see how you're doing in a couple of days. Until then, please follow your recovery plan to the letter. I'll send full details through Yehoda. For now, just get yourself home, relax, and rest. My dear friends, we have fought bravely and achieved a spectacular victory. A dark cloud has been lifted from the skies of Nodcry. All in this land will be grateful for what you have done.
The moon will remember this day. Thank you both. There's something I want to let you know.
What is it?
When Durin connected everyone's minds so I could access their powers, I also felt everything they felt. And since Nefer's eyes were injured, my eyes are hurting now too.
Huh. Hold on. Let me try.
I only feel the pain. There's no actual damage. I just thought I should tell you.
You're right. There's no damage. That's a relief. But I must say, I'm surprised to hear the Kutar share something like this with me. In the past, you never used to open up about yourself.
Things are a little different now from how they were. I'm learning to share how I truly feel with my friends.
Friends? You have no idea how glad I am to hear that.
Yay! You're awake! How are you feeling? Any aches and pains? Did you sleep well?
I'm doing all right, Paimon. No need to worry about me.
Phew! Well, that's good. Paimon's been sitting on the edge of the bed worrying about you for ages. You slept a whole day and night. Poor Paimon had to eat all by her lonesome.
Glad to hear you didn't starve. How was the food?
Well, it wasn't the same without you there to share it. Honestly, Paimon just can't relax when you're not your usual self. She couldn't enjoy the food and settle down to sleep.
Well, I'm back to normal now.
Oh yeah, and Albedo swung by earlier. He said to tell you to head to the tavern when you woke up. Varker and the others are organizing a victory feast and they want to celebrate with you. He also dropped off some medical supplies, but you seem fit as a fiddle, so guess you won't be needing those. If you're feeling up to it, let's head over now. Wouldn't want to keep them waiting. We're here!
Traveler and Paimon! Perfect timing! We were literally just saying how there's no way we're holding this victory feast without you any longer, and we would have postponed it till tomorrow.
How are you feeling today?
Much better. Thanks. Don't worry about me.
Relieved to hear it. If that changes, just let me know. Happy to check you over at any time.
Yep, we're here for you. Anything you need, just let us know.
Oh wait, where's Nefer?
How are her eyes doing?
Nefer's right over there. I'm sure she'd love to catch up with you.
We're here!
Traveler and Paimon! Perfect timing!
How are you feeling today?
Much better.
Relieved to hear.
Yep.
Oh wait, where's Nefer?
How are her eyes doing?
Nefer's right over there. I'm sure she'd love to catch up.
Traveler, Paimon, are you recovering well? Turns out that moon chanter has some real talent after all. My eyes were mostly recovered after just a couple days rest. I can actually open them again now.
Yeah, Yeah, but you gotta be careful. Lauma says not to strain your eyes while they're still healing.
Yes, thank you. I'm well aware.
Yehoda, could I borrow you for a moment? I could do with an extra pair of hands.
Oh, sure. Coming. Did you hear that? I gotta go help Lauma for a second. You guys chat among yourselves. I'll grab us some drinks on the way back. Paimon, you still like 'em sweet?
You bet! Make it extra sweet, because Paimon's earned it!
Sure thing!
The Raker of Solnari. Kind of a snake, don't you think? No, definitely a snake. A poisonous one who spewed his venomous hatred everywhere. Anyone who seeks revenge out of hatred for other people has become a snake. That's something my dad used to say. Perhaps. I'm sure it sounds like a very wise and open-hearted perspective to your ears. But me? I think hatred is a perfectly justifiable emotion. What else is left when everything you depended on in life gets stripped away? Something's gotta fuel that drive to keep on living. If you're worried about me, you can nip that in the bud. I'm not someone who gets stuck in the past. It's just... I suddenly feel like I was wrong to call my father a liar. He was just a fool. That's why the Academia turned their back on him, and why the other tribes ganged up on him. Oh, Father. How much better things could have been if you were a skilled liar. Look at the Ibis King. Thoth is a fiendishly cunning liar. And yet, strangely, he feels more like a father to me than my real dad ever was. He's never brought it up, but I'd bet he feels the same way. Why else would he give me the power to perceive the truth, while at the same time training me in the art of deception? Well, King Deshret banished him to Aru, which is essentially a prison, and posed 3 questions to him. He promised that he'd have his freedom if he could find the answers. His response was to take on a physical form and approach me, hoping that I could become his envoy and search for one of the answers on his behalf. Did he really think I'd fall for that? He's stuck there. He can't make me return what he gave to me. So that's enough for you to decide he's nice, is it? He's a prisoner, and he was scared. So he decided to perform some good deeds to win people's approval. He lives in fear because he's a deceiver. How is Rerir any different? You can't work as a spy your whole life and expect a happy ending. It's preposterous. Yet I can't say I don't understand it. Liars live in the darkness of their own making, but it's still human nature to want to go on living. They say that a liar's soul is the most worthless thing in the world. What do you think? Good. If you understand that, it means you're smart, and you see things objectively. If you ask me, the soul of a liar really is worth nothing, because all they care about is themselves. For example, when something good falls into my lap, I don't go sharing the news around. Stops other people trying to steal it from me. So be it. They have sharp ears. I can't keep anything from them. Oh, is that what it looks like? Well, you all know my past now, and I can't simply eliminate everyone who knows too much. So I guess I just have to put up with you, for the foreseeable future at least. When you find yourself in a situation you can't control, The safest play is to keep calm and start monitoring everyone involved like a hawk. In the intelligence world, you need to have a sense of perspective and play your hand accordingly. If you understand what's at stake, please ensure my secret is safe with you. Very good.
Oh wait! Now that the panic's over and we've all calmed down, Paimon suddenly remembered something. After all that build-up, our mystery ally never showed up even once.
Huh? Am I imagining things?
So, that close colleague who stayed behind with you? What's he been up to recently?
Don't know, don't care. I get more normal human interaction from hanging out with Bosco too than him. Although, now you mention it, he hasn't bothered me in a while. I wonder if...
If he's disappeared without a trace, it's the biggest gift he ever gave to the world. But I somehow doubt that's what's going on. He won't lie low forever. So we'd better stay on guard.
How have you been holding up? Any adverse reactions? If you start to take a turn for the worse, make sure you tell me right away.
You don't need to worry about me, Grandmaster. I'm fine. I mean, I barely did anything, so...
What? You're too humble, young man.
You played an indispensable role in the battle for Nodcry. We can't thank you enough for your support. Sometimes, when people praise you, it's because you deserve it. The best thing is to accept it calmly and with grace. It's important to learn how to respond to words of admiration.
Let's do a quick demonstration. Albedo, that was an incredible feat of alchemy. The pressure was on, but you worked flawlessly at lightning speed to get the job done.
Thank you. I can't take all the credit, though. Durin played a big part in forming the alchemical array.
See? Did you catch that? A masterclass in how to take a compliment.
Okay, yeah. I did work pretty hard to help prepare for the battle. No point denying that.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, look who's bounced back. Looking good, Traveler.
Seems like you've recovered. You won't need to take any more medication.
Can I get you a drink?
Huh? You know how to order at a bar now? You've sure learned a lot recently.
Handling a drinks order is ridiculously simple compared to alchemy. Don't worry, I'll blend into society yet.
Paimon believes it. You're clearly a fast learner, just like your brother. To be totally honest, though, Paimon didn't quite follow all the details when you first explained the plan to us.
Don't worry, that's completely understandable. Unless you're a student of alchemy, it's hard to grasp the principle and how the process works.
To put it in the simplest terms, we saw how our enemy stole the power of Kuvaki. And that gave us the idea of stealing his power to turn it against him. When facing an enemy you have no hope of defeating, it's best not to engage them in battle. So, instead of looking for a way to overpower him, we decided to help Columbina get strong enough to at least stand up to him in a fight. For this to work, we had to analyze his modes of attack, confirm who his main target was, and make sure that he wouldn't go beyond the range of the alchemical array. For added security, we prepared a total of 4 arrays. But to mitigate the impact of the battle, we identified one location in particular as the ideal spot, which is where the confrontation took place. The alchemical array absorbed his abyssal power. Then Durin processed it to render it usable by Columbina. That power enabled her to do what would otherwise have been nigh on impossible.
What surprised me was that Dainsleif actually agreed to join us. Given his history with Rerir, he had every right to sit this one out. But we're extremely grateful for the decision he made.
It must have been a painful choice to make. But I'm sure that making a decision was far better for him than staying in limbo.
Absolutely. He was torn between 2 paths, but in the end, he made his choice and stuck to it resolutely. He doesn't strike me as the sort of person who'd stay trapped in limbo for long. Anyway, however you cut it, everyone gave a stellar performance. And now, it's time to kick back and celebrate.
Ah, Lord Sangama Bay. How lovely to see you. I must thank you for the device you provided. It was an enormous help. Would I be right in thinking that it was developed by the Academia?
Why come and ask me when you clearly know already?
I mostly came to thank you.
That's more like it. A little gratitude goes a long way with Lord Sangama Bay. Play your cards right, and you might even stand a chance of becoming my long-term supplier.
The chance to work with such a kind and charitable investor as yourself would be a great honor for the Curatorium.
Huh? Charitable? Who said anything about charity? First time hearing about it.
Let's see. The first plot of land you purchased in Nodcry, your desert interests, and...
Stop! What do you think you're doing? Exposing my investment history!
It's nothing to hide from. They're all perfectly legitimate investments. And some of the land you purchased was with the intent of building a sanctuary? Yes, I heard about that too.
How did you...
You're a curious case, Lord Sangama Bay. You don't like people finding out about your good deeds, do you? But I'm afraid no matter how hard you try to keep things under wraps, where there's a will, there's a way. You did it for Sumeru, didn't you?
It was empty land that was gonna go to waste otherwise. I figured if I built something there, it might at least get some use in an emergency. Disasters are capricious things. They strike without any warning. I've lost family to a disaster before, and I don't want to lose any friends or business partners if I can help it. My elder sister used to dream of finding a sanctuary. Somewhere with plenty of food, water, and medicine. Where everyone could live happy lives. It was something I looked into, but after discussing things with the Dendro Archon, I decided on a more effective strategy. The tech people handled the tech, and Moneybags provided the Mora. It just made the most sense.
It's a pity that so few people know the truth about you. Everyone says that you view everything in terms of Mora, and all you care about is growing your own wealth.
So, what's the problem with that? Everyone wants to be rich. It's human nature. So yes, I love Mora, and it's nothing to be ashamed of.
But surely you have dreams of your own, beyond just making Mora.
You don't get it, do you? My dream is to invest in other people's dreams. And, you know, make a nice little slice for myself along the way. Just thinking about it makes me happy. That sweet, sweet sound of Mora.
Thank you.
For the device?
And the pendant.
Oh, that. I was just returning a favor. Don't worry about it.
Seems like we've both been away from home for a very long time.
Yeah. So long that I barely remember what my family even looked like.
That would be your mother, father, and sister?
Yeah, though it's been years since my sister passed away. It's not like I want to forget them, obviously, but memory can be even more ruthless than the most calculating business person. Beyond a certain point, if something isn't helping you, it just gets rid of it. My sister can't help me now. Slowly but surely, her face is fading from my mind's eye. It's become a vague impression.
Not everything will fade. When loved ones pass away, the beautiful memories are the ones that last the longest.
Yeah, that's true. If you ask me, that's the one silver lining in all of it.
Well, that, plus, I'm sure that life is much better now than it was back then.
Oh, absolutely. I have tons of Mora, a big beautiful house, business is booming, and I'm as happy as can be. You've got a lot going for you too. Boss of the Curatorium of Secrets? I'm sure there's plenty of Mora to be made in that line of work.
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
That's the only reason you're here. Yes. I've thought a lot about it. And I've realized that you, me, and Arlecchino should be friends. I think this is very important. So I felt I had to come and tell you. Well, this is a new one. I'm so moved. I can't even hold my teacup. If that's all, you can leave now. Do you not want to be friends with me? Or is it that you prefer being coworkers? What is this, Columbina? Are you deliberately testing my patience threshold? Right now, my politeness module is active. But if you say another word, I swear I'll shut it down. If your politeness module was active, wouldn't you say the word please at some point? Polonia, please see Lady Columbina to the door. Will you still invite me to your next tea party? What? Yes, I think you will. Bye-bye, dear Sandrone. Last time, the Wild Hunt escorted you out. Would you rather I handled it myself this time?
We just wanted to, see how you were doing now that it's all over.
Why? Out of concern for my safety? I hope you didn't seriously think that the Rayhir of Solnari would be able to lay so much as a finger upon me, given how prepared I was.
Mostly because you kind of helped us out, so we just wanted to check you were okay. Looks like all your robots are fixed, huh?
Oh, don't you worry about that. Tea time is already a write-off. The visitor before you managed to kill my appetite. If you're in the mood for tea, go ahead and help yourself. Otherwise, it's going to waste. My coasters are still missing in action, though. Use this notebook instead.
Whoa! Pretty hefty notebook. Look at all those calculations.
You can ignore those. They're just dumb scribblings. I doodle and write in my free time. Sometimes I remember the distant dreamlike past. Sometimes I imagine the far-flung future. And other times, I grit my teeth and note down all the crazy nonsense going on in the present. Some people do the crosswords in the newspaper. This is my equivalent of that. Trying to predict the future is like daydreaming, and writing about the present just makes me furious. The past is my favorite. If nothing else, it's already set in stone, so I don't have to rack my brains trying to figure it all out. Huh. Although, having said that, the only vaguely interesting memory in my past is probably that guy they call Lord Artificer. Who else? Pretty much all the mecha and Fontaine are his personal handiwork.
Wait, know him? Like, personally? As a friend?
I mean, I guess we were friendly enough. Yep. In fact, I'm probably the only normal person left who knew him at all. We used to chat occasionally back when he was still around. Before he passed away, he asked me to destroy all his manuscripts. I honored his request, but I did read through everything first before destroying them. I mean, I couldn't let the genius of Lord Artificer Alain Guillotin disappear like that. Would have been such a waste.
So, that's where the formulas in your notebook are from?
I just told you. Those are my equivalent of crossword puzzles. They're just dumb formulas that I solve for fun when I'm bored. Alain's work was like epic poetry. The formulas in my notebook are just silly little riddles in comparison. Not that there's anything bad about them. I mean, at least, solving those riddles isn't going to hurt anyone. Except me, 'cause I lose a few brain cells in the process. Anyway, while we're on the topic, I might as well tell you about what happened to him and his friends. Alain Guillotin had two close buddies, René and Jacob. They spent their childhood years together in the Narzissenkreuz Institute. They were all quite competitive, so there was some rivalry between them, but it was a friendly rivalry. But beneath the friendship and the rivalry ran something deeper, a sense of nostalgia for the past. Unfortunately, childhood would end. The prophecy would come true, the apocalypse would arrive, and the future would never be. A mad dream that would normally only capture the minds of lunatics began to take root in their hearts. A dream of saving the world. And if René and Alain had been people of lesser wits, that dream would probably have ended up as something for them to joke about in their older years. But alas, they were some of the sharpest minds around. They nurtured that dream with the full power of their intellect, and it grew into something that ate away at their souls. The first of them to fall under its spell was René. Against Alain's wishes, he persisted in experimenting on a mutual friend of theirs to try and save their life. Alain did not approve and parted ways with René. It's complicated. Alain wanted to believe that René only did what he did for the sake of their friendship. But when he told me about what happened, I could tell he still had some suspicions about René's motives. Perhaps the seed that would grow into a nightmare had already sprouted in René's mind. Even then. The next time they met, René's soul had been completely engulfed by the dream of salvation. His futile attempt to change the tide of fate only resulted in a wave that swallowed up the world, even before the apocalypse came. And although that wave died down eventually, I hear that it just recently came back with a vengeance. As I understand, René wanted to live out his dream of salvation once more. But I'm told that the attempted resurgence finally died out for good. At long last, René awoke from his deluded dream. Though of course by then it was far too late. What do you think of René? Do you admire his transcendent genius? His view that any price was worth paying to achieve the lofty goal of saving the world? Or do you despise him? Dismiss him as an evil madman who wrought havoc on the lives of everyone around him as he pursued his delusional dream? Same difference, really. Just a matter of perspective. Doesn't surprise me. You share one thing in common, after all. You both want to be the savior. The only difference is, your dream came true, and his, well, he wasn't the one who made it come true. I don't like fanatics who give up their whole lives for their ideology. Nor do I like fools who let their delusions take control. Maybe I could understand if René had just been an ordinary person.
But he had a sage-like intellect, and still managed to get himself lost in the labyrinth of his own desires. Anyway, that's enough about Renee. Now, moving on to Alain Guillotin, the Lord Artificer. He managed to put a stop to the first storm whipped up by Renee. But after that, Alain lost his friends and family. To his credit, I suppose, the loss of his family and friends was purely a tragic accident. It's not like Alain sacrificed them for his cause or anything. After that, the only thing supporting his work was the same dream that had dragged his closest friend down to the abyss. But although the desire to save Fontaine drove him to found the Fontaine Research Institute, Alain continued to reject any form of transcendental knowledge or power. He was suspicious and fearful of it, having seen the way it had affected his closest friend. I think that formulas and machines derived solely from human intellect were the only thing that gave him a sense of spiritual comfort. Yet Alain's intellect was simply too great. It barely left him space to breathe in his lifetime. Once he realized that the end of his life was approaching, he finally accepted the truth. The Nazissenkreuz Institute needed someone, and a human being, to see its story through to the end. He quit working on his formulas, trading them in for the fairy tales that had played such a formative role in his childhood, but which he barely touched in his adult life. He told me that the director of the Nazissenkreuz Institute used to read those fairy tales to the children as bedtime stories. Apparently, they worked wonders at sending kids off to sleep. I think that all he wanted at that time in his life was to be able to sleep deeply without being plagued by depression. By that point, nothing else really mattered. At the very end, he laid down to rest in the ruins of the former Nazissenkreuz Institute orphanage, while the Fontaine Research Institute he had founded continued tirelessly with its work. Many years after that, tensions over competing dreams would once again cause a rift, this time between members of the Fontaine Research Institute. But the actions of those fools had nothing at all to do with Alain. And that is the story of two people from the Nazissenkreuz Institute who both wanted to save the world. One went all in on his fantasy of salvation without ever looking back, and ended up calmly sinking to the bottom of the deepest sea. The other sought desperately to burn bright in his life, even though he wasn't sure where he was going. I do sometimes wonder, why is it that people like them have such grand hopes of saving the world? Even the grandest tree starts as a tiny seed. So perhaps, for each of them, their mission to save the world began with a very simple desire: to save themselves. They were young children with friends and family who mattered to them, desires to explore the meaning of life, ambitions to have a successful career. They didn't want to see all of that taken away in one fell swoop. Or maybe they just wanted to find something to anchor themselves within the chaos, to stop them getting quietly swept away by the storms of life. But instead, the search for their own salvation took them down the rocky road laid out by fate. Do you think the desire to save oneself is enough of a justification to try and save the world? You don't know? I guess that's a fair answer. At least you're not trying to hide your confusion. Alain was much more straightforward about it. I asked him the same question back when he was in his prime, putting all of his energy into his work. Yes, it's enough. That was all he said before getting right back to his work. He was always that way. All right, tea time's over. I owe Arlecchino a favor for telling me these stories. I'll have to bring a whole sack of gifts the next time I visit the House of the Hearth. I'm gonna go tinker with Polonia now. You guys can do what... Polonia, exit hibernation mode. Begin diagnostics.
Ow!